dog.
Welcome to Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast where we explore the weird and wonderful world of movies. I'm Josh, and I'm joined by my co-host Jesse, and together we're going to take you on a journey through some of the wildest, wackiest, and most memorable films out there. From cult classics to box office bombs, from indie gems to Hollywood blockbusters, we'll be covering it all, bringing you our unique perspectives and opinions on the movies that have captured our imaginations. But why the name Your Mother Ate My Dog, you might be wondering? Well, that's a story for another day. But suffice it to say that it's a nod to our love of all things strange and offbeat. So whether you're a seasoned film buff or a casual moviegoer, whether you love action, horror, comedy, or drama, we've got something for you. Join us each week as we explore the fascinating world of cinema, only on Your Mother Ate My Dog. This week, Snowpiercer, the 2013 sci-fi action film directed by Boon Jong-Ho, a movie set in a future where the world is covered in ice and snow and the last remnants of humanity are on a train that constantly circles the earth. The train is divided into different sections, with the poorest people at the back and the wealthy at the front. Snowpiercer, 2013. Um, that intro was actually written by an AI. I did none of that. Um, but I've heard, as I'm sure you have, that AI is taking over. Have you used Chat GPT yet?
I have not. Now, was that intro actually written by AI?
Yeah. So today, for the first time, I opened Chat GPT and I just wrote. Um, I wrote a few different things, but the first one I wrote was like, write me an intro for my podcast about movies. It's called Your Mother Ate My Dog, and the hosts are Josh and Jesse. And then I wrote that. And then I mixed in, write me something about the movie Snowpiercer. And it wrote me something about Snowpiercer and more coming later, I guess.
That's crazy. It wrote
Yeah,
that
I'm
stuff
trying to.
about it wrote that stuff about the name of our podcast. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's a story for different." Oh, wow. Okay. That's crazy.
So really, we could do this whole thing, this whole podcast with that. We don't really need an opinion.
Yeah, let's just forget the opinion. Let's forget us. Just make it an AI podcast.
I was trying to find some place to get it to listen to all 52 episodes,
Mhm.
and then come up with its own podcast using our. But I haven't found how to do that yet.
A way to do that. Yeah. That's crazy.
Anyways, episode 53, Snowpiercer. Um, I don't have my phone with me for some reason. Oh, maybe I do. But we should do a follower of the week.
We should. We've got a little bit more action on there this week, haven't we?
Have we?
Nothing. Well, I mean, nothing too crazy, but definitely some new followers for sure.
I
Oops.
haven't really paid attention to that.
Oh, me neither. I don't pay any attention at all. I made that all up.
Um, okay, sure. Okay, well, I have my follower of the week.
Oh, great.
The follower of the week this week comes from an account who followed us pretty early. I would say
Mm-hmm.
one of the first. One can only assume the first few follows. Um, they go by the name a big cat account. It would appear loves posting cats. They go by the name Mac Attacks the Fish.
Okay.
Um, so their bio is cat emoji, flower emoji, cactus emoji, other flower emoji. I guess it's like a sunflower emoji, cat emoji, flower emoji, plant emoji, sunflower emoji, cat emoji. And I would assume the three black cats signify the three black cats in her life. So that's exciting.
That's good. And all the cactus and the flowers, I assume are plants that they own.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Um, wouldn't know. You might know. Anyways, Mackenzie, thank you so much for being our follower of the week. You can submit your request to be follower of the week Instagram.com/your mother ate my dog, and we'll get those and think about it.
You can also send them to our PO box if you'd like. 7209. Yeah, that's all the only numbers you need. If you Google that, you'll be able to find our PO box.
Mail reference. So it was April 1st recently.
It was very recently.
Did you did you did you play any pranks? Do any cool April Fools things?
I didn't do any pranks, unfortunately, and I did not fall for any pranks either. I was prankless.
Well, that's a relief, I guess.
Well, you don't want to be caught, with your pants down, if you will, on such a notorious day.
The only thing that I did was me and the missus play a game, much like Wordle,
Hmm.
called Global, where you have to guess the country every day. And we don't do it together since we have jobs and busy lives. So we do it and then we send um, the other person the score that we got.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I sent it to her that I got it in one guess.
Hmm. Had
April
you?
Fools. No, I didn't do it in one guess, but it was
I was going to say, like, had you like maybe
something.
looked on Twitter or something of someone who did do it in one guess and they just copied them?
No, no, no. Um, nope.
Oh,
Just a fun
I
little
see.
thing there.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. I know. I know a couple that of those dailies that's are probably the one you're talking about. Is it the one where you name a country and then it says like the nearest border is 3,000 kilometers away, or is it the one where it like shows the country's exports and you have to like guess what country it is based off that?
No, the first one.
Oh, okay, okay. What was the country yesterday?
Probably something. It was an island in Oceania somewhere,
Okay, Samoa,
like
maybe.
Nauru or something. No,
Oh, okay, okay.
it's very rarely Samoa.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, great.
Yeah. Anything you want to discuss before we make sure that we're still recording? And
Yeah,
oh
we're
yeah,
seeing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still going. 7:55, 56, 57. Um, Nothing too crazy to report this week. I didn't watch any movies besides this one. Just kind of another week in the life.
it's depressing. I also didn't watch any new movies. Chronicles of Riddick and then Snowpiercer.
I did see some trailers for movies that I'm planning on watching. There's a new Wes Anderson movie coming out a few days before my birthday, so I think that's what I'm going to do on my birthday. Go out to the theater and
I didn't watch the
watch.
trailer, but
Mm-hmm.
I did hear it's the most Wes Anderson trailer of all time.
It's pretty Wes Anderson-y, that's for sure. And I'm also planning on, I guess it would be next week, that Owen Wilson movie called Paint. Have you seen any trailers or anything about that movie?
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, of course we did. How could I forget? Yeah, so that'll be next week probably. I think it comes out on the 7th or something. So I haven't been in the theater in a good long while.
Do you remember what the last movie was?
The last movie I saw in theater, I don't know. I really don't know. It's been so long.
The Man with the Iron Fist.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That movie from 10 plus years ago, probably. What if you were to guess, what year do you think that movie came out?
2014.
I'm going to guess it's 2012.
Man with Iron. 2012. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, I don't remember anything about that. I'm just remembering now that frickin' Dave Bautista is in this movie. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That movie was a Chinese film. The
Oh
movie
yeah,
we watched today, was a Korean film.
right. With a Korean director, anyway.
I mean, it felt like a Korean film.
Yeah, there were definitely, and there were Korean. I mean, one of the main guys from Parasite is in this movie.
Yes,
Yes,
he looks a little different, but yeah.
just a little longer hair and all that. But this movie was, I guess, sort of reminiscent of Parasite in some ways.
Well, do you want to, I guess, get started on the film
Yeah,
talking?
yeah. Let's do it.
When
Let's
did
do
you
it.
watch it?
I've just finished about 40 minutes ago.
Wonderful. What did you think? How did you feel?
It was definitely an interesting one. I sort of, in general, I liked it. It came in waves. It's like I really like this movie, and then I was like, oh, this movie kind of sucks, and then I really liked it, and it just kind of went back and forth. I don't know. It is that an experience you had as well? Do you think?
Hmm, there were more. So last film we watched, Chronicles of Riddick, I complained that it was action packed.
Right.
There was no time to breathe. This film, there was time to breathe, which I appreciated. They had
Mm-hmm.
you know, the conversation between um, Chris Evans, Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
and the old man, John Hurt's character, Gilliam.
Yeah.
That kind of gave us time to breathe. And they had a conversation at the end between the Truman Show star, what's his face,
Ed
um,
Harris.
Ed Harris, and Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some periods of time where it slowed, and there were some periods of time where it was fast, and I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So no,
it switched up the pacing for sure. Which I did. Yeah, I did appreciate that part. I guess what the me falling in and out of liking this film was not it didn't have to do so much with the pacing. I guess this movie was like if we go back to that whole it being reminiscent of Parasite. A lot of people like had conversations that real people would never have, which I feel like is something that I guess Parasite is just pretty weird in general. I think this movie, especially with its interaction between human characters, there was a lot of weird moments.
I have to go back and rewatch Parasite. I don't
It's a
remember much about it.
it's a creepy movie. Yeah, yeah, it was weird. I mean,
Yeah,
it was weird. I guess the weirdness made sense in some way because I guess if you've been cooped up in this train for 17 or 18 years, I guess, I mean, you'd probably have to be probably go a little loopy. So that part
eating
made sense.
those protein things
Hmm.
that were made of bugs for
The
so long.
bugs.
Yeah,
Where did they get all the bugs?
yeah, that's a question I also thought of.
Yeah. Although I guess probably bugs aren't that hard to just, you know, get them to make more.
Yeah, it was an interesting premise of a film.
Hmm.
It was based off of um, I think I think it was based off of a graphic novel,
Okay.
a French post-apocalyptic climate fiction graphic novel. Climate. There's also a TV series that came out in 2020, apparently, starring Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for that before I got into this movie. I was just kind of because I played the trailer for this movie to see if Mackenzie was interested in watching it. She was not interested.
What kind of film would she be interested in?
Um,
Do you know what you're picking for
yes,
next
I know what I'm
episode?
picking for next episode, and she's very interested in watching that.
Is it animated?
No,
Hmm. Okay.
it's a 50-50 shot if you've even heard of this movie.
It's okay. We don't have to talk about it right now.
No, no, I know.
We can talk about Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
How do you like the acting?
Hmm, not great, huh?
Um, so going back to Chat GPT,
Mm-hmm.
the AI,
Mm-hmm.
I asked it um, to evaluate the acting, the ending, and give the movie an overall score of 10, which it did.
Okay.
Um, and I don't know where it pulls this information from, but for acting, it said the movie features an outstanding cast who all deliver exceptional performances. Chris Evans plays the role of Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his portrayal of a tormented character who has to confront his inner demons is captivating and engaging. Tilda Swinton, perf- her performance as the villainous Mason is also impressive, and her character's odd mannerisms and idiosyncrasies make her both terrifying and hilarious at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
I don't either.
So it had a high acting score, and I would tend to agree more with that than I would probably with where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate the acting. I mean, I didn't give it like I didn't think it was exceptional, but it was the score will be pretty decent for it.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree a lot with Tilda Swinton's performance being good. Yeah, that's accurate. She was very strange and it was creepy at the same time, for sure. Chris Evans, I mean, that's where my problem comes from. I didn't think his performance was very good. Just kind of like
So
flat and not very, I don't know, in the moments that he was supposed to be like he was harkening back to like the trauma of first entering on the train, and I don't know, it just wasn't that believable.
fair.
Hmm.
That's fair. How did you feel about them killing off his sidekick so quickly?
That's an interesting choice. I didn't see it coming, so I liked that. It's you like I like to see a bit of yeah, unexpectedness, I suppose. Wasn't this movie certainly wasn't formulaic.
No. Um, there was one of the actors from Train Spotting was in this movie. The
Who's
guy
that?
whose arm had to go out the thing and freeze, and they cut it off.
He's in Train Spotting. Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
he
You're
played
right.
Spud.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember now.
Obviously, a different look as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Much longer hair, much fewer arms.
I didn't hate the acting. I mean,
That's
Chris
fair.
Evans, sure, like he
Yeah,
had the biggest role. He wasn't the best. I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
He's probably not that good of an actor overall.
yeah.
He plays like the same guy. I think. I feel like.
I think that was part of the problem. Just like this is Captain America right now. It wasn't a new character, but yeah, I would agree that most of the acting across the board, besides him, was quite good. Yeah.
They had to hide his because he had played Captain America by this point.
Hmm.
They had to hide his muscles because he was supposed to be, sickly,
Right. Right.
which is, I guess, very difficult to do.
Hmm. He's got a lot of them muscles. There's no denying that.
Yeah, a lot of those muscles for sure. Probably one of John Hurt's last films, The Old
Yeah,
Man.
that's too bad.
Ed Harris is in a lot of stuff.
Is he? What else is he
Well,
in?
he's in like every movie.
I don't think he's been in. Has he been in any of the movies we watched for the podcast?
Let's just take a look. You got to click on a different thing for his filmography. He has so many. I gotta scroll down. Jeez. Okay, let's see here. He he was in Snowpiercer.
Mm-hmm.
He was in National Treasure Book of Secrets, which we didn't watch on the podcast, but has Nick Cage in it.
He was not in any of the movies we've seen for the podcast.
He was in A Beautiful Mind,
He's in
which we
Beautiful
mentioned.
Mind and The Truman Show and Apollo 13. That's how I know where I know him from mostly.
Yeah, he was in. I watched Westworld. He was
Oh
in
yes.
that,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in one episode of the TV show Frasier,
Right.
just a voice role.
Right. Tossed salad and scrambled eggs and all that.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies.
Is he the guy does the intro? He does the shooby doo wah. He does that part.
No, no, no.
Oh, he's not the shooby doo wah guy.
Ed
Okay.
Harris movie count. It's not going to tell me. So
I don't think it's really that
a
many.
lot.
Okay, or a lot, you know. One of those two. Anyway,
How do you like the set?
the set was pretty good. I mean, I did find myself kind of almost predicting what each next rail car was going to be. Well, not every time, obviously, but I'm like, okay, where's going to be like the where all the people are drinking their fancy drinks, and where's going to be the like where people are having the sex and like the dance. Like I kind of knew those were coming a little bit, but I guess I mean that's not so much the set as the predictability. I guess overall the gritty parts were gritty, and the yeah, I don't know. What about you?
Um, yeah, how did they get a train so long?
It's a long
Took
train.
forever. Have you ever been on a train?
Um, I think I've been on like we have that museum that's up in where's that Duncan or whatever. You can go on a train ride, but it's not like an official train, I suppose.
So you never been on a train from like I don't know, from say Munich to Belgium.
No, I haven't hit the Munich to Belgium train. I mean, I've been in like the Sky Train in Vancouver. Does
Yeah,
that
it's
count?
close. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on that lots of times. So there you go. I guess I have.
Okay, so you didn't really like the movie, but you didn't really hate the movie. So this is gonna be like a 5.5 from
Well,
you.
let's not jump too far ahead, but I mean, let's say you aren't too far off.
Um, all right. Well, do you want to get to scores, or is there anything? Because I feel like this movie, there a lot was happening, but not a lot to talk about necessarily.
Yeah, you're right. It is. It's. I find we do have a less to talk about in like these quote unquote bottle movies. I mean, they're in only one place, the train. I guess unless you count the very end,
What
which is part
happened
of
at the
the
very end?
well, that's part of the problem of this movie, isn't it?
You didn't like the ending?
That was a pretty stupid ending.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
um. Let's talk about the ending and then score the ending
Okay. Let's do that.
first. Would you like to go first?
Okay. So obviously it was hinted at like you could go outside now, right? It's like okay, well obviously we're gonna go outside at the ending. That's fine. I suppose I didn't really expect who the last two people were going to be. Perhaps maybe we don't. I don't know if you want to spoil it for everybody, but I won't. And then it just kind of like, yeah, they're outside, and then there's like a polar bear, and then it ends. Like I don't know. I just thought it was kind of stupid. And there was like, and everyone died, but it wasn't like, oh, everyone died, but the two people I really wanted to live, they lived. So these two people I don't really care about lived.
Right. So, okay. Um. before you score it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the polar bear for me showed that hey, um, you could live outside now, which gives a an unlimited possibility for the future.
Was that those two people are going to repopulate the Earth? Are they?
Well, at the beginning of the movie, yeah. So they said that everybody's dead except for the people on this train.
Mm-hmm.
Fun premise. So then I guess if everybody in the train is dead except for those two, then yeah, age difference a little bit. I mean, not crazy, but it'll be at least I want to say like 10 years at the minimum
Mm-hmm.
before there's reproduction.
Mm-hmm. I guess there could be other survivors. I think. I don't know. What did you like about the ending? I don't know. You seem to be defensive about my dislike of the ending. What did you like about it?
Well, my ending is it goes back to like when it starts at like when Chris Evans and Ed Harris meet,
Okay.
like their confrontation,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then we get that realization that oh, Gilliam was kind of in on it, and they're the one who was orchestrating it. Chris Evans really didn't have anything to do with how things went. He was just kind of a soldier, if you will,
Uh-huh.
which plays to society or whatever. Um, and then we see that the two children, I guess one of
Mm-hmm.
which dies, um, they're slaves. Chris Evans gets his arm cut off, much like Gilliam and much like the guy from Trainspotting, kind of circling things together.
Yeah, he got rid of his arm like he wasn't able to do when people were sacrificing their arms to feed the others.
Right, and we get that where he's a bad guy at the beginning, but then he changed and stuff. Like it wasn't. I thought the ending was good. It gave me closure. Um, it it didn't seem like there was ever. Well, I guess they were kind of setting up for a happy ending, and they gave us everybody dying except for the two who didn't die. And then what's going to happen, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you score it?
It just left a bad taste in my mouth. And by the time we were getting near the end, I was already kind of losing. I don't know. I didn't attack this one with the right headspace. But I
Oh,
guess I
I've been
can't.
there.
I guess I can't really feel guilty about not liking a movie. It happens from time to time. I just, yeah, no, it wasn't a fan of the ending. I gave it a 4.
Um, Interesting. I'm going to tell you what the chat GPT gave it. Well, it didn't give it a score. I'm trying to see if will give it a score.
Okay.
Um, but what they said about the ending was that it's unexpected and leaves the audience with a lot of questions
Uh huh.
without giving away any spoilers. So obviously, it doesn't want to give away spoilers, which is smart.
Courteous.
the The ending is open ended and allows for interpretation, which is true, which is something that can either frustrate or satisfy the viewer. However, the ambiguity of the ending leaves a lasting impression, and the themes of the movie continue to resonate long after the credits roll. So I'm going to see what it's going to give. What would you give the ending of the movie Snowpiercer out of 10? Um, And it says, as an AI language model, I do not have personal opinions or feelings. However, I can see that the ending of the movie Snowpiercer has received mixed reviews from viewers and critics. Ultimately, the evaluation of the ending is subjective and depends on each individual's personal taste and interpretation. So it doesn't give us a score out of 10
Right.
for the ending, but it does give me a score of 10 overall, which I will be sharing,
Okay.
which is an interesting score. My ending, um, for the reasons that I said earlier, was a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Whoa. Ending out of order. Crazy.
We're doing crazy things
Acting.
these days.
I already read you what they said about acting. They
Right.
loved it.
They
They
did.
loved the acting. Um, I, I mean, Octavia Spencer, she won an Oscar, not for this, but she's a
Mm-hmm.
great actress.
Mm-hmm.
She was in this, played a mom, great role. John Hurt, he was perfectly good in his limited. Tilda Swinton, excellent. Ed Harris, Ed Harris is just Christoph from the movie we just talked about, The Truman Show. The guy from Parasite, Nam Goong Min Soo, I thought he was great too.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter, one of the survivors, spoiler alert, was whatever. She spoke
Yeah.
English. Chris Evans kind of brought it down a little bit. Um, so for acting, I did give it a 7.
Okay. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, this for me it does that thing that it seems happens a lot where the main actor is the one that isn't very good, and then the rest surrounding him are quite good. For me, Tilda Swinton was the standout performance for sure. Creepy and strange, which I kind of liked, and then just solid performances all around. Besides the man himself, Chris Evans, just felt like he was Steve Rogers, and just like in the moments where he was supposed to be emotional, I just wasn't really buying it. And maybe it's not giving him a fair shake. I guess the things I've seen him in, he hasn't been fantastic. He was okay in Knives Out. He's in that, right? The first Knives Out movie.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. He's all right in that. Um, and in like Captain America, it's not, you don't really go for his acting, I suppose. It's more of an action movie, obviously. Um, yeah, for acting, I was a bit more generous than my ending score. I gave it a 6.
That is generous.
I'm a generous guy, so.
Okay, so for score out of 10, I'm gonna let you go first because it'll obviously be the smallest number.
Hmm.
Then I'll give my score, and then I will give the AI score.
Okay. Yeah, this movie started off. It actually had a lot of promise for me at the beginning. It was a very interesting concept, and I was definitely curious to see what was going to happen. And then I felt like it got a little bit predictable at times, and then a little unpredictable, and the acting sort of went in and out. And that's where my like for this movie and dislike for this movie kept kind of battling with each other, going back and forth. And then I would say more near the end, the last third of the movie, I thought became even more predictable. I mean, things happened that I wasn't 100% see gonna I could see coming, but more predictable in general, and it became less of an interesting film for me. And yeah, the acting was a little distracting. The premise, I guess it was just like overall the premise I've really found quite interesting, and just didn't quite deliver in a way that I was satisfied with. So I'm giving it a 5.5 out of 10.
Well, I called that.
You called that?
I did. I said like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said 5.5 to 10.
Oh, well, you called it.
I'm so smart. Yeah, the premise at the beginning, like I didn't know what this movie was about really. Um, I saw the I didn't see a trailer for it. I saw the poster and it was like kind of cold. It looked a little cold.
A little cold for sure.
Snow is in the name. So I didn't know what to expect, and then we get the premise of the movie right away.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious. Well, this seemed maybe like it would thrive more as a TV series because you get to the end of the movie and you do feel let down because there is so much expectation going forward
Mm-hmm.
into each. They get past one boss and then they go to the next one, and then they just get to Ed Harris, and then, oh yeah, I have a few children doing this, and no, this could be yours. I'm old, have some steak. And then yeah, it ends, and then you do feel let down. It does, as you said, leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it did do a lot of stuff that I liked. Acting was great. And it was a fun 2-hour experience for me. I didn't feel bored, which is always important for a movie. So
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
7.5 for Snowpiercer, which
I guess before you get to the Chat GPT score, I guess the way you described um, that movie, it made me realize part of what I didn't like was like a lot of the characters in this movie didn't care that, like, they get to nearer to the front of the train and the people from the back are just walking through and there's no one seems to give a crap at all. And then even when Chris Evans is at the front of the, did I say plane? I might have said plane.
maybe.
Anyway, when he gets to the front of the train and then he's like starts beating him up and clearly like he's stopping the engine, and Ed Harris is just like whatever. I don't know. Like I guess their lack of caring like translated over to me. I just didn't care.
Hmm,
Anyway.
I understand.
Hmm.
Thank you for your honesty.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so Chat GPT loved the movie. The film's combination of action, suspense, and social commentary made it a must-see for any sci-fi fan. Bong Joon-ho's direction, coupled with the outstanding performances from the cast, make this movie a standout in the genre. Overall, Snowpiercer is an excellent movie that deserves a score of 8 out of 10.
Oh wow, it just okay.
Yeah, and it's not taken from the Rotten Tomatoes score because that is in the 90s. Maybe it's the IMDb score. I haven't looked, but they do it after they do it out of five, don't they? Losing my mind. No, I guess they don't. It's what is the score? Are you gonna tell me? Oh, 7.1. IMDb gives it a 7.1 out of 10. So yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Indeed.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good choice. Thanks to Josh for the suggestion.
Thank you very much, Josh.
2010 to 2019 movie choice for Josh.
Are you going to be doing a 2020s choice?
You better believe it.
Oh, okay.
And it might be some sort of animation movie. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to go in that direction.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool.
Yeah, so we have like 12 minutes to kill here.
Yeah, we got finished up a little quicker than usual.
I wasn't going to tell you um, that I did the AI stuff and then just like use what they said for what I was going to say, but it didn't really fit with how I felt. So it
Right.
would have been weird.
I did like the intro. I was like, wow, he really spent some time writing a very thoughtful intro.
Yeah, and that's the future. Um, if only we were in school, we could use that to write our exam or our essays, not exams.
Yeah, it came about a little too late for us.
That's okay. Do you have any questions for the AI?
Um, Not at the moment, but I may think on it for next week, perhaps.
How do you um, how do you drive an outrigger canoe? Question mark. Mhm. Okay. Outrigger canoeing is a popular water sport in many coastal communities. Okay. Here are some general steps. There's so many steps. Okay. On how to drive an outrigger canoe. One, position yourself in the canoe. Sit in the canoe and position yourself towards the front or the AMA side. Is that true?
Ama. Uh huh.
Oh, sorry, AMA.
Well, there is an ama, but you don't position yourself on the ama side. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, which is the side of the outrigger float. The outrigger helps to stabilize the canoe and prevent it from tipping over.
Mm-hmm.
Two, hold the paddle correctly. Hold the paddle with both hands, with one hand at the top of the paddle grip and the other about 1/3 of the way down the shaft.
That's also definitely wrong. Okay.
Paddle on one side. Start paddling on one side using long, smooth strokes to propel the canoe forward.
Uh huh.
Keep the paddle blade close to the hull of the canoe as you pull through the water.
Oh, okay. That's very true.
Number four, switch sides. After several strokes, switch to the other side and continue paddling in the same manner. This helps to keep the canoe balanced and maintain a straight course.
Mm-hmm.
Number five, use your body. Use your core and upper body to generate power in your paddle stroke rather than just using your arms. Rotate your torso as you paddle and use your legs to brace against the canoe for added stability.
Where do they get all this information? This is really weird.
That's a great question. I don't know. And finally, number six, stay aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings and avoid collisions with other boats or objects in the water. Keep an eye on the weather and adjust your paddling technique as necessary to account for wind, waves, and current.
Wow.
Is that true?
Yeah. Can you ask it what its favorite brand of outrigger paddle is?
What is your favorite brand of outrigger paddle? It does not have personal preferences or opinions as humans do. But if you have any specific questions about outrigger paddles or other equipment, I'd be happy to help answer them. Just,
Um,
I guess it doesn't do well with like picking a favorite.
I see. I see. Maybe ask what the most expensive one is.
What is the most expensive outrigger paddle? Question mark. Um, one example of an expensive outrigger paddle is the Kialoa Methane 2 paddle, which is made
Kialoa.
of
Uh huh.
which is made of lightweight carbon fiber and features a unique blade design for improved performance. The paddle can cost upwards of 500 or more, depending on size and other options selected. Another example is the Quick Blade V Drive paddle,
Okay.
also carbon fiber, features high performance blade design for maximum speed and efficiency.
Okay. That's useful information. And both real paddle manufacturers.
Yes, they're not going to make stuff up.
Right.
Okay, let's just say who is going to win the Super Bowl? Question mark. Oh, they don't like to predict the future or make guesses about outcomes of sporting events. I guess because of the betting.
Probably.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun. Who knows where they're getting this? It probably says
You should ask who the funniest host of Your Mother Ate My Dog is.
who is the. Well, it's probably gonna just come back with they don't have an opinion. But who's the funniest host of Your Mother Ate My
The
Dog?
podcast. Put the podcast.
the podcast, and then I will probably have to say Josh or Jesse. Well, we'll do it without names and see. Question mark. I cannot make subjective judgments with a podcast host or their comedic abilities.
Hmm.
It's important to appreciate the unique styles and personalities of each host and enjoy the podcast for its content and entertainment value.
Hmm.
I mean, you can ask them to do stuff like, how many cats is too many cats? Was one of the first questions, and it said, in general, owning more than 5 cats is often considered to be a lot and may be difficult to manage.
Okay, so I'm still in the right range then.
Yeah, and then I asked, how should I propose to my girlfriend? And it gave me a list of everything I should do to propose. Get down on one knee was one of them.
That's a good tip. That's usually a pretty good sign, a good way to like let them know. It's like, hey, something is about to happen, and you probably know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's fun. I'm probably not going to keep asking it to write the podcast intro, but who knows?
Well, you can just say you're not going to do it anymore, and then keep doing it, and just seem smart.
Yeah, I think you would notice so.
Yeah, probably. Great.
Write me a trivia question. Okay, so it gave me a trivia question.
Okay.
It didn't give me an answer, so I don't know. But what is the smallest planet in our solar system by both size and mass?
So is Pluto not a planet anymore, or what?
I'm gonna guess it's not Pluto.
Okay.
I had one pop up, but I don't know if that's smart. I'm not really good with planets.
I know all. I guess if it's not Pluto, then I would have to say Mercury.
I was gonna guess Mars. Is it Mercury? Question mark. Yes, that is correct. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system by both by size and mass. So good job.
Thank you.
Let's see if they give me the same trivia question. Nope. What is the capital city of Brazil?
Um.
I feel like it's not Rio.
Um. I know the answer to this, but it's not coming to my head. Is it not just um? Okay, I don't know. I guess
Brasilia.
right. I was gonna say Brazil City, but that sounds so stupid. But it was like
Brasi-
not too far off.
Brasilia kind of is. Yeah, it kind of is Brazil City.
I knew it was something like that. It was like it sounds like Brazil or has Brazil in it.
What do I do if I'm lit on fire? Okay, so stop, drop, and roll
Hmm.
is one. Cover with a blanket or towel. Cool the burn. Seek medical attention. Remove clothing. Avoid open flames. Okay.
Can you ask it a recommendation for how to fall asleep?
Yeah. What is the best way to fall asleep? Actually, I don't know if that'll help, but okay. So there are many things you can do to improve your chances of falling asleep and getting a good night's rest. Number one, stick to a regular sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. I feel like you do that.
I do.
Create a relaxing sleep environment. Make sure your bedroom is quiet, dark, and cool. Invest in a comfortable mattress and pillow.
Check.
I don't know if your cats are bothersome at night, but
We don't let them in our room at night.
yeah, not much you can do about that. Limit caffeine and alcohol.
Okay, great. I don't drink any caffeine. Although I have had a couple
Insane.
beers. I have had a couple beers tonight, though.
Well, happy Sunday.
Yep.
Wind down before bed.
Mm,
Establish a relaxing bedtime routine to help you unwind and signal your body that it's time to sleep, such as a relaxing podcast.
right.
Could include reading a book, taking a warm bath, practicing relaxation techniques like deep breathing.
Okay.
This is a big one. Number 5, avoid screens before bed. Blue light from
Right.
electronic devices like smartphones and laptops can interfere with your body's natural sleep cycle, so it's best to avoid using these devices for at least an hour before bed, which is insane, I guess.
Yeah, I don't do that one.
You don't avoid devices for at least an hour?
No, I like to be in bed by like 9:30 most nights, and then I go on my phone for, if I were to be realistic about it, I'd say about 20 minutes. Set my alarm and go to sleep every night.
Right.
I myself do not have a problem sleeping. I sleep very, very well. I was hoping maybe some listeners maybe had some problems with sleeping, and we could inspire them to get on a better sleep schedule.
Well, okay. Well, then there's one more. That's number 6, which is exercise regularly.
Mm. Hmm.
If you continue to struggle with falling asleep or staying asleep, it may be helpful to speak with a healthcare provider to rule out any underlying medical conditions or discuss other treatment options. Talk to your doctor if you're not sleeping.
Yeah. So this has been your daily PSA regarding sleeping.
Stay away from your screens. Read a book
Read a book, listen to a relaxing podcast.
like ours.
Mm-hmm. Wake up!
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
One thing that we do kind of struggle with, at least I struggle with, is ending the podcast.
yeah. It's always kind of that little awkward, like, how are we going to end it sort of thing.
Yeah. So write me an ending to my podcast. Oh, wow. It's still going.
Uh-oh.
All right. So are you ready to wrap it up?
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Okay. That's a wrap for today's episode of the podcast. Thank you for tuning in and joining us for this discussion. We hope that you found it informative and enjoyable. Snowpiercer. If you have any feedback or suggestions for future episodes, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Just kidding. We don't want to hear it. We always appreciate hearing from our listeners. Remember, you can subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform to stay up to date on all of our latest episodes. If you enjoyed today's show, please consider leaving us a review or sharing it with a friend. Hear that, Greg? Share it with a friend. Your
Please.
support helps us continue to create high quality content for you to enjoy. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast.
We're watching The Craft. Bye.